Hello Southies, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Ceci and today you're watching a speed build, but it is a speed build that I have not done in quite a while, or a type of video. I'm doing a collab today with a really awesome creator named Beeley, aka Bailey, here on YouTube. I've been following her for a while now and she has deservedly blown up in these last couple of months. She does these really cute room builds that are really popular, and she also does speed builds of houses, and she's really sweet and really kind, and she actually reached out to me to do this collab, which I'm really excited for. I haven't done a collab in forever. She did the exterior, which I will show a picture of towards the end of the build so that you can kind of see. During the actual video I didn't actually zoom out a lot, so you'll get to kind of see the exterior in photos, but I am working on the interior. As you can see, I just got done with the kitchen and now I'm working on the dining portion, this sort of great room, living, dining and kitchen area. And then there's also going to be a little nook in one of the, I guess they're called bay windows as well. There's a little window off to the side where I have some couches. But I'll kind of describe the story of the family that lives here. It is a mom, a dad, their 2 kids, and a grandmother. And sort of the concept, the parents are very artsy. The dad's a musician. The wife is actually she's a gardener, but she loves art as well. And then the grandmother, who I believe is the mom's mom, I haven't been in this build in a minute. She was a scientist, so I was kind of thinking like a hidden figures type of character, that she worked maybe for the astronaut program or maybe just worked as a scientist. Then they have a teenage daughter who is a gamer slash streamer, and then the son, who's a child, is an aspiring scientist himself. So I imagine he has a lot in common with his grandma. He's really fascinated by her work and wants to be an accomplished scientist just like she was. So the concept of this house, kind of what Bailey was wanting us to do, was to do a New Orleans style home, and the interiors kind of reflect that. So I use pretty much all the packs except for vampires, because she doesn't have vampires, which is fine because there are so many packs that kind of lend themselves to that sort of New Orleans style vibe. I did have a reference photo of the living room sort of area to kind of help spark the inspiration for the rest of the home, but essentially I wanted it to feel very eclectic, since there are various sort of personalities in this space. A plant lover who loves art as well, and then a musician, and then a gamer and a scientist, 2 scientists. I wanted to feel very eclectic, very hodgepodge. Maybe they have just collected a lot of things over the years and really have kind of curated a really nice living space. You saw me work on the dad's office, which is sort of the music room. Now I'm working on more of a family room, more of an intimate family room space where the TV is, and they can do lots of activities such as knitting, and then the son can play with his toys and work on his little chemistry set there. I also put a rocking chair in here because I think I was going to put a rocking chair. I did end up putting that chair from Paranormal. I think I do put a rocking chair somewhere in the builds, because I feel like every grandma needs a rocking chair. Like, I want a rocking chair when I'm a grandma. So I did leave in this family bathroom because it was so colorful. I wanted you guys to kind of see it. I don't often leave bathrooms in the speed builds, and sometimes I don't even take pictures of them. They're little mini surprises for you guys when you download the house. Here is the daughter's room. As I said, I wanted her to be a gamer slash streamer. The streaming station does kind of take up a lot of room, but This has been player tested, so every room in the house is operational and your Sims can get to every part. Just be sure you put down or turn on move objects before you download the home. As well as if you just download the shell, which Bailey already has under her origin ID, you'll need move objects there because she uses a lot for the exterior. But I wanted this to feel, her room to feel very girly. I think that there's nothing wrong with a gamer girl that is loves sort of really girly type, quote unquote girly type things. So I kind of wanted to express that. And this is the son's room. It kind of, you'll kind of see I left sort of all the little ideas. At first I wanted to set up to be a very traditional looking space, and then I kind of changed my mind because I figured if he really loves science, he's obsessed with science, I wanted his room to kind of look like a scientist's workspace. So as you can see, I'm kind of just sort of putting things down in a more traditional way. A bed, a desk, a bookshelf, and a wardrobe, but then I'm going to switch it up to where it does sort of look like a little science lab. So I use these overhead cabinets from the kitchen to make it look like that long piece is maybe his wardrobe where he does keep his clothes and he keeps all sorts of stuff and all the storage space. His bedroom is the smallest, so I was worried that it would feel cramped, but it actually works. Like I said, he can get to everything in this room. Might have trouble getting to the bookcase only because I've sort of covered it, but you shouldn't have too much of a problem with that. And then I wanted to put a lot of science clutter, and you'd be surprised how much sciencey clutter is in the game. Now I'm working on the grandmother's bedroom. I didn't really know exactly the vibe that I wanted. I did want it to feel a bit matronly, and maybe she is someone who is a scientist. She's still very smart, very brilliant, but it's not, now that she's been retired maybe for a decade or so, her old life as a scientist is not something that is a big deal, if that makes any sense to her. Like, she likes talking about all of the discoveries and things that she made when she was a scientist, and she loves playing with her grandson, but I wanted her room not necessarily to reflect too much of that part of her life, because I feel for her biggest, most important job was having a family. I made her family oriented, so I did want this space to kind of feel like a grandma's room. So now I'm moving on to the parents' room, and again, a musician and a plant lover live in this house. And normally when I make bedrooms where the bedroom is a shared space, like a couple situation, I use a lot of more neutral kind of palettes, because sort of the concept is you're bridging two different types of styles probably, or at least personalities in one space. But I feel like this is a very eclectic couple, so they love color and they love just like having a lot going on. I guess if you were just to sort of look at the house, you would say the style is bohemian, which is fine. I gravitate towards bohemian. I strongly gravitate towards it, though my bohemian personal style is much more of a muted sort of palette. But yeah, I wanted them to feel very eclectic and very hodgepodgey. So I do put a lot of plants in this room. You'll sort of see that come together here shortly. I like to be able to put in all of the kind of trial and errors when I'm building. Normally when I'm building the house and the interiors, I can't do that too much because I don't want the video to be too long, but it was nice to only have to do the interiors, because then I could kind of show you my process and my thinking and kind of going back and forth through different colors and different palettes. Like here I was like, maybe I should make it a little bit more mute, of toned, and then I was like, no, let's go bold. Sometimes you gotta sort of step out of your comfort zone with building, and this wasn't too far out of my comfort zone, but I'll be honest, I'm not very experimental when it comes to building. I see so many amazing builders on YouTube that come up with these really amazing ideas, but I think they're awesome, and Beeley is one of those. And so I definitely want to start to stretch my sort of creative legs and try to come up with designs that are fun and interesting and kind of exciting. So I thought that sort of having this like plant wall in front of the windows behind their bed would be really cool, because their bedroom doesn't face the street, but it does face a walking path. And so that kind of offers a little bit of privacy because of how I orientated the bed to be up against the windows. It offers a little bit of privacy. They still get sunlight, and then the plants get a lot of light as well. So now I'm sort of starting the clutter process. I cluttered it a little bit. That's just kind of how I do things. If you've watched my videos for any length of time, I typically go through, put all the big furniture down, and then start the clutter process, which this living room was a lot of fun because it is such a light, so I use that kind of really light baby green color for most of the interior. I wanted all of the furniture and all of the decorations to be very rich and bold in their colors. So you'll notice the couch is this deep purple, and those chairs are that green, deep green. I wanted a lot of seating in this room. I do imagine that they are a family that does entertain a lot, so I wanted there to be a lot of seating, and I thought putting those little, I guess, ottomans, those little cushions underneath the table would be a cute idea. Again, sort of goes along with that reference photo that I used. And then that's when I was thinking, okay, what kind of artwork? And these city living artwork pieces I thought would fit really well with the personalities of this house. They look like little plants, those ones, so I thought that they would definitely fit with the mom. Here's where I wanted to add in more art, a lot of bold art. I imagine maybe one artist has painted all of these, and the mom and dad are a big fan of this artist's artwork, and so anytime they can, they buy it up as much as they can. And yeah, so I'm trying to think of any kind of new things that are going on. I am working on LPs, working on new builds. I'm off these next few days, so I get to kind of do a lot of videos. I have a schedule to where every other week I'm off for 4 days, or off 3 days. My 4-day weeks are the best because I feel like I can get a lot more done, not just with the channel and all that, but just in general, I can do things for my life. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I did start a new Let's Play with an old familiar character, Beeley, my Beeley. And it's just kind of showcasing her life after university. She was a part of my university, or Discover University Let's Play. So I've been having fun doing that. And of course, my Legacy Let's Play, and I haven't done a video for my vampire Let's Play in a while, and not because I don't want to, just because I'm just sort of taking a slight break. Let's Plays, I feel, are very time consuming because you're trying to build a story, especially if for me, I kind of already have in my head the story that I want to present in each video, and sometimes that takes a while. You have to kind of play the game and get everybody situated, and then sometimes I'll allow the game and the mods that I have in my game to kind of sort of tell the story as well. And kind of one frustrating thing is when you visit a sim and they don't sit down and you're trying to talk to them. That is the most frustrating thing in the world, and I don't know what to do about it. I know there's probably a mod out there that's like, will force Sims that when you're trying to have a conversation, they'll just sit there. Like, I'm thinking in real life, when someone comes to my house, am I just getting up every 5 to 10 seconds and walking around and doing a bunch of random things while they're trying to have a conversation with me? That's not normal. Unless you have like a severe case of ADHD, that doesn't feel like normal to me. But you know, it's The Sims. What can you do? Hopefully Sims 5 they'll sit down. So I am just working on a lot of that stuff. I have some other builds that are coming out. I have been streaming on Twitch, and I've been doing that for over a year now, I feel. And I'm thinking about moving my streams to YouTube, only because I feel like Twitch is so oversaturated that it's really hard to build an audience on there. And you have to have this sort of level of consistency and dedication that I just don't really have to streaming. I have way more of it to YouTube than streaming, and it's so awkward to stream, especially when there's no one to kind of talk to. So, and I mean, I talk to myself all the time, every day. I live alone, so it's not unusual, but I feel like I have to sort of present a type of energy on streaming that I just don't have. Like, I'm a very chill person, and I can quietly sit for hours and be super satisfied. But I feel like on Twitch you have to have this kind of big kind of personality on there. And maybe there are some that do have that chill personality and they're very successful at it. I don't know how they do it. I want to learn their secrets. But that's just something. So let me know in the comments if that's something that seems like a good idea. Should I stick with Twitch? I've kind of on Twitter asked that question, and some people suggested that moving to YouTube would be better. So still thinking about it. As you can see, I have been cluttering away at this build. One thing, the exterior is very green and red, and so that's another reason why I kind of chose the color palettes for the walls and the doors. Mostly Strangerville stuff, because I liked that concept. This is the washroom. There's another full bathroom down here as well. I did change up some of the original layout, which just to make it flow a little bit better for what I wanted to do. And hopefully, Bailey, you're not going to be mad at me for doing that, but I think she'll be cool about it. Like I said, she seems like a really chill person and a really cool person. I think she's like 17, if I remember correctly. I know she talks in her videos a lot about school, and so I think she's 17 years old, which is kind of crazy that she's literally half my age. What was I doing at 17? I wasn't building an empire on YouTube, that's for sure. We didn't have it. I think I was just, hanging out at school. The most video games, I didn't play video games in high school. I didn't play The Sims. I didn't start playing The Sims until, like 3 years ago. So when I was 30. And the most kind of computer games I did were like online, like puzzles, like crossword puzzles or text twists with something. I did used to play a lot with an online game called Neopets. That was my jam, mostly in middle school, and then I kind of faded out. I think that website is still running. I know I saw someone on YouTube a while ago open up their Neopets account, and I used to love that game because it was kind of, you had your little pets and you could go and play a bunch of little games to earn coins and then build them a house. Like you could buy a plot and build a house and everything. I think kind of probably why I stopped playing it is, number one, I grew up a little bit, so it just wasn't as fun for me because it's a very cutesy kind of game. And two, it could take hours and hours and tons of gameplay just to buy one thing for your Neopet. Like, it was a lot of work. And I think you could purchase things, of course. You know, middle school, I didn't have any way of purchasing anything, and I definitely wasn't going to ask my parents, hey, could you buy this online thing that has absolutely zero value to my real life other than I want it? I wasn't going to do that. So that was probably the most video game, computer game thing that I did, other than, like I said, little crossword puzzles online and solitaire and that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm just kind of going through finding places that I didn't clutter and cluttering them up. I love to clutter builds, but as I've said in the past, I try not to do it too much for various reasons. I don't want your game to break if you don't have a computer that have high enough specs, and then 2, I want your Sims to be able to get around, and sometimes if you clutter too much, they can't get around. And then 3, that's where my laziness comes out, you know? Like, some people, I commend the people that could clutter for hours and their builds are so, like, immaculately cluttered, and I'm just like, how do you do that? How do you sit and have that kind of patience to do that? But, you know, maybe I should do a super cluttered build to kind of get out of my comfort zone. Put a lot of posters, gaming posters, in the daughter's room. But we are coming up onto the end of the build, so if you enjoyed it, please let me know by way of pressing the like button. Comment down below your thoughts on the build. Let me know, if you're an old fogey like me, what games did you used to play as a teenager and a preteen? And if you are a young, vibrant, alive person, what games do you play besides The Sims? I would love to know. And if you haven't already and you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. I try to post every week, and I would love for you to be a part of the Southie family. Again, go check out Bailey's channel, link down below. Thank you again so much, Bailey, for reaching out for this collab. And as always, my name is Ceci, and I promise never to break your game. Bye.